Good morning, Team Telco, and welcome to Understanding Productivity Part 4. And in this session, we're going to be looking at the time and attendance policy. So what is the time and attendance policy? In this slide, we're going to just have a quick overview of the time and attendance policy, what it intends to achieve. So firstly, the time and attendance policy provides a guideline or a framework that all telco employees must follow, whether they're working from within the office or they're working from remote. The time and attendance policy applies to all current employees, whether they are on a permanent contract, a fixed contract, or any other type of attachment or internship, again, whether they're working remotely or whether they're working within the office. The time and attendance policy also defines the rules of work attendance. So this is intended to clarify what it means to attend work and what one does when attending work. In terms of the time and attendance policy, recording of such work attendance and the accounting of the time during work attendance, i.e. during checking in and between checking in and checking out of work, is what is addressed in the time and attendance policy. Lastly, this policy is to be read in conjunction with the leave policy and any other policies, human resources policies that apply to telco staff. So what is attendance? Let's answer that question very quickly. Attendance basically speaks to the punctual, regular, clocking in and clocking out of work that has always been done. So this part, there's nothing new about this part. But what we're also adding to the time and attendance policy is that attendance also means working in accordance with the job description, action priority matrix, and other key performance indicators that are in the job description or in the action priority matrix of individual employees. So that's the feature that is very important. That's the addition that is very important, is that attendance is not merely showing up at work. It also means during the time of attendance, working in accordance with the job description, the action priority matrix, and any other key performance indicators that are defined for that particular job. It also means keeping an authorized record of the work that has been done. When we say an authorized work, we mean that this work must have been authorized by the supervisor or the manager that is in charge of that particular piece of work, and that authorized work must have been validated by the supervisor or the manager that is in charge of that piece of work. So in other words, attendance counts when the particular employee has logged in to the systems, the time and attendance systems, when they've filled honest and accountable timesheets, when they've got a system of transactions that reflect those activities, e.g. tickets, leads, scheduled activities, tasks, and so on, and when they have accomplished authorized activities outside of the system, and when they've also logged out of the system. So all of these, without exception, constitute attendance. So I'll repeat that again. Attendance, an employee, telco employee, has attended work when they've logged in to the time and attendance system, filled honest and accountable timesheets, shown a track of system transactions that reflect those activities, such as tickets, leads, scheduled activities, tasks, and any other system transactions that reflect their activity in the workplace. When they've accomplished any authorized activities, perhaps outside of the system, and authorized activities are any activities that take place outside of the ERP system that we use, but that are authorized still by the supervisor or the manager, and when they've also logged out of the system. Some people object to logging their activities or being accountable to their activities. And some of the objections that they have are that timesheets or tasks, scheduled tasks, are easy to forget and they're tedious and boring. that there's a big brother syndrome where they're intrusive, where they feel like they're being micromanaged, and they say they add nothing to productivity, and they also say it provides nothing of any value. However, um, we cannot manage what we cannot track. We cannot manage what we cannot track. And therefore, at telco, time is accounted for in the same way that finance or money is accounted for. If you've not seen the productivity part 3 video, please revisit that to understand why we account for time at telco. So authorized absence in the context of our time and attendance policy is where you've got approved time off via an application that has been approved by your manager or your supervisor in accordance with the other telco leave policies, and where you've got accrued leave. Any other type of absence where there's no notification to a superior before the workday begins, where there's an invalid or no sick note, where you don't have accrued leave, where you don't clock in or out, where you don't fill in timesheets, where there's no traceable system activity, where your timesheets are unvalidated, where you're late coming to work, where you have unauthorized early departure from work, and where you have unaccounted for timesheet hours. All of these constitute unauthorized absence from the workplace and are therefore offences that can be disciplined. So any absence as defined in the slide that I've just gone through is defined as 2 or more occurrences of any unexcused absence or unauthorized absence in a 30-day period and does result in disciplinary action. Eight occurrences of this unexcused absence in a 12-month period is considered to be grounds for termination. You could be taken through a disciplinary if you have 8 of these accumulating against your account. Any employee who fails to report to work for a period of 3 days or more without notifying his or her supervisor will be given a written warning, and after 5 days will have considered to have abandoned their work and will automatically be terminated from the employment relationship. Should you have any questions or comments about this time and attendance policy, or any comments or questions that you want to raise, please feel free to get hold of me or any of your EXCO members who are the owners of this particular policy. Have a good day. Thank you.